Most people, they think that procrastination is a discipline problem. So they aim to fix it with motivation, better routines, better planning, but none of that works. Might work a little bit, but it doesn't work in the long term because that's not where the problem is. Motivation will help you for a while. I do have a lot to say on motivation. I'll kind of dismiss it. It is useful for a while, but it's just for a minute. You don't need better routines. You don't need better planning. You don't need better strategies because the truth is, you already know what you're supposed to be doing. You've done all the planning, you've done all the strategizing. The problem is, you're just not doing it. Here's the real problem: you are making a decision or decisions in the moment. You got to do something and you start finding yourself saying, should I do that? Is this the right time? What if it goes wrong? What if it doesn't work? Maybe I'll do it later. And that is where procrastination lives. And this is where most people get it wrong because they are attempting to cure procrastination with all these things I've already talked about. And the only thing that's going to get rid of procrastination completely is what they're not doing. And that is building standards. So let's fix this. My name is Anthony Charles and I help busy people to turn their knowledge, their ideas and their skills into real money without them becoming stressed or overwhelmed. And I do that every single day. So let's get to work. I've got 2 solutions for you, and make sure you listen to the end because I'm going to show you how to get rid of procrastination today, once and for all. So the first thing we need to do is to find that decision. I told you about the decisions. Find the decision and then remove it, because the decisions you're making in between what you're supposed to be doing, that is the decision that's just moving you closer and closer to failure every single time. You got to stop being flexible. You got to stop saying I'll do it later or I'll do it when I have time. That doesn't work. Just stop it. Stop it altogether. Instead, you've got to set a fixed action. For instance, you've got to say to yourself, today at 7 p.m. I'm going to work on such and such for 30 minutes. I know how you feel. I know how it goes. It could be 10 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock, and you think I'll do this later on. Later on is not a specific time, but you say that because you've got every intention of doing it, and you say to yourself, I've got time. But unless you make a specific time, then when that moment comes and you start making those decisions in the moment, then procrastination kicks in. So you got to set that time. There's no debate, there's no delay. You've just got to do it. And trust me, when you do that small thing, something big changes, because you stop deciding and you start executing. Because right now, most people have preferences. I've taught goal setting to thousands of people for so many years, and the number one thing that I've had to do is to teach people how to set that goal and then to move the goal from a goal to a standard. So many people, they set their goals and deep down inside of themselves, they're saying, I'd like to do this, or I'll try to do that. Trying, let me tell you something, trying is a noisy way of doing nothing. You can't try. Didn't the great Yoda say there is no try, there is only do? Something like that. Don't quote me on it. Listen, if the great Yoda said it, then it's right, isn't it? Okay, but look, a preference will just collapse under pressure. I don't know if you've noticed, but life is full of pressure. So when the pressure comes along, the preference is gone. The preference has no chance. A standard, on the other hand, it doesn't collapse under pressure. A standard gets done no matter what. Yep, even when you're tired, even when you're busy, even when you don't feel like doing it, a standard gets done. I had no idea how powerful standards were until I look back on my life and I asked myself a question. I said, well, how come you've never smoked? And no big deal. Some people smoke, some people don't. But I was around cigarettes all the time. Loads of my friends smoked, and I was a DJ for decades. I was in the clubs at the time when you were allowed to smoke, so I had a lot of passive smoke anyway, but I didn't smoke. And I looked back at the time when I came closer to smoking, and I realized there was a standard there. I didn't know at the time. I was around 14 years old, 13, 14 years old. We went on a day trip to France with my school, and I was with my good friends. I was with Nicholas, Ian, Sunil, and Philip. And as soon as they got out of the sight of the teachers, they started smoking. Now, my dad had drummed into me the importance of not smoking. He set a standard for me. I didn't know. He set a standard. I didn't know it was a standard back then. When I was with my friends and they were encouraging me, pressuring me to smoke, I got to a point where I kind of thought, well, okay, you know what, let's give it a try. I took the cigarette And as I took the cigarette, Philip had a look on his face like, at last. And I tell you something, as I saw that, it just clashed with something that was inside of me. It clashed with my standard. And I handed back the cigarette and I didn't smoke. Now, I didn't have to negotiate with myself at all. I had a standard, and that was that. So standards are absolutely powerful. They're more powerful than goals or motivation or anything else. Standards will help you to get rid of procrastination once and for all. If you keep on not doing the things that you said you're going to do, it's not because you're lazy. It's because you're still negotiating with yourself. You've got to set a standard that causes you not to negotiate with yourself. And at the moment when you remove that negotiation, then you change the way you operate. You become somebody who does what they said they're going to do when they said they're going to do it, even if you don't feel like it, even when life gets tough. And if that's something that you really and truly struggle with, then I've built a system that can help you to fix that. It focuses on one of the biggest things that people say they're going to do and they don't do, and that is getting somewhere on time. The system that I've created, it removes the hesitation, the delays, and the constant renegotiations that make you late. And it helps you to actually follow through on what you said you would do. I'm going to leave a link below if you want to check it out. Look, smart people like you, they don't procrastinate because they don't know enough. Absolutely not. They procrastinate because they haven't decided what's non-negotiable yet. If you fix that, then everything else, like execution, it becomes automatic. And then all that's left for you to do is to keep on being amazing. And that's easy because you are. Speak to you soon. Feeling good? Want more results like this? Let's keep that momentum going with this video here. Also, click on my head here to subscribe.